Hey there, YouTube. It's me, Hens, and I'm back here with Salty Crab. This video is about Amberlynn's ninth members only live stream, and she was ranting about Zachary Michael and crying about Rarity, apparently, according to the title at least. So let's get into it. We're always fans of Salty Crab and her coverage.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my
Hey,
channel.
Salty.
And today is Wednesday, which you know what that means. It's time for our
Mm-hmm.
weekly members only live stream recap. And this week we are on number 9. Honestly, can't believe we are at number 9. She has not taken a single week off. Props to her for that. I
That's
really
good.
did not think that it would last this long, but I'm glad that it has because although there are a lot of boring moments in these members only streams, they are still pretty entertaining. And this week's is no exception. This week, the smugness was completely off the charts. This might be the smuggest I've ever seen Amberlynn. She was just feeling herself the whole time. I was cringing so hard I felt like I needed a shower afterwards. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Ready? Let's go. So allow me to do my usual disclaimer. If you are
Allow her
new
to
here,
introduce
everything that I'm
herself.
about to tell you is going to be in Amberlynn's own words. If I say, quote, blah, 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 that is a literal direct quote from her. If I'm giving my opinion, it's either going to be extremely obvious or I will let you know. Also, the pictures that you see on the screen kind of correspond to whatever I'm talking about. What I do is I take a note and then I take a screenshot so you can kind of see what her face looked like when she was saying these things so that
Thank you, Salty, for explaining the process. That makes it so much more illustrative.
you can kind of get the feeling of being there without actually having to be there. So she tells us right off the bat that this is going to be yet another drinking stream. Now, she
Oh,
claims
yay.
that she had some White Claws left over from the 12 pack that she bought a week or so ago, and that's
They're not going to go bad. Oh my god. They're sitting there, you guys. I have to drink them. You need to give them away. You need to not have any alcohol in your house if that's how you approach it. If it just sits in your fridge calling to you,
That's what she's been drinking on. She
that's
only
a bit
drinks them
much.
when she's on a live stream. Don't know if that's true. That's just what she's claiming. So, someone in the chat, I believe, was joking around and called her alcoholic Lynn, and she immediately took offense to that. She said, quote, "It's very insensitive to those who actually are alcoholics." By the way, she's back on her laptop again, so the internet kind of sucks, but I don't think she's too concerned. I think it's more about the fact that she can use the filters on the laptop, and if she
Yeah.
goes live from her phone, she can't.
And then she just won't get all the comments. But she'll get all the comments about how you're using filters and exposing yourself.
And everyone made
And then the other thing is that there's some filters that you can apply after the fact. So you never know if she does that too.
made such a big deal last week about how different she looks without the filter. So she's willing
Mm-hmm.
to give up the internet quality for the fuzzy, blurry
Of course
picture
she
with the
is.
filters. So
Of
she's still
course.
going with the whole, I've gotten so much support thing. And I feel like that is why she has such a smug attitude in this. Everyone that's been propping her up, whether it be genuine or trolling, it's really gotten to her head, in my opinion. It's given her a big head and a big attitude. So that's kind of what the tone is. And
Big. Big.
this live stream. And she says that she's really been looking forward to the members only streams lately. Someone says they sent her a voice memo question, and she says that she's gotten hundreds of them, but she
That's
hasn't listened to a single
hectic.
one. And she says she won't listen to them until she's filming the video because she wants it to be her first raw reaction. She's still claiming that
Hectic.
she's single and she's going to be staying that way. She's still claiming she has a lawyer. She even says she's not even joking. She swears she has one. So apparently a weigh-in video is coming today. She says she's going to be sharing her new goals in that video, which to me sounded like she's definitely gained, which of course she has. I don't
Yeah, I'm going to be reacting to that tomorrow, not today.
been doing
Salty crab is today.
she's been following any type of plan, so it would be no surprise if she did gain. She says that she has still been, quote, working while on her break, and then she says that working for her means thinking about how to structure her videos. That's how she defines working.
Lol.
So then she gets asked about Zachary Michael, and she's going to spend a lot of time talking about them. Now, I will say, I am not sure what Zachary Michael's pronouns are, to be honest with you. I thought that the pronouns they preferred are they, them. So that is what I'm going to be using.
That's the last thing I heard was they them.
Amberlynn did not use those pronouns. So if I accidentally slip up and those aren't Zach's preferred pronouns, I do apologize. Like I said, Amberlynn was using he, him pronouns. So I might have accidentally written something down that's the wrong pronoun. If that's the case, I do apologize. So as she's asked about Zachary Michael, and she's very annoyed at them. She says, first they said, she's talking about their break that they went on. She says, first they said it was because of a migraine, which, okay, transformed into Amberlynn's been harassing me, and making it my fault is kind of fucked.
Two things can be true at once, Amberlynn. Both.
She said that like 2 or 3 times. She says they have spent years talking about her life, mocking her, being condescending, being passive aggressive. And the one time she decides to stick up for herself, quote, a little bit more than usual, now they have to go on a break. Apparently, she thinks that reaching out to someone when they've asked her not to is just her sticking up for herself and not harassment at all. Someone brings up the whole thing where she keeps saying, Dear Heavenly Father. And the quote is, Dear Heavenly Father, grace me upon your presence, is what
What
she
the
says.
hell?
And they ask her,
Why? Yeah, she just said in the video where she did the oracle card thing, Amberlynn said that she doesn't believe in God at all. Like, she just believes in the universe, which is
you believe
what
in
she
the
said.
oracle cards, but yet you are
Yep.
saying, Dear Heavenly Father. And
Yep.
isn't that a bit contradictory? And she
Yep.
says that when she says, Dear Heavenly Father, and all of that, she doesn't believe a word that she's saying. And she only says it because it's, quote, just a
Wow.
funny
Wow.
saying. You guys know that old funny saying, Dear Heavenly Father? And she says that if you're offended by her saying that, Dear Heavenly Father, it's because you're just trying to be offended. So then we go back to Zachary.
Amber, I'm not religious, but that's not respectful in any sort of a way. That's actively disrespectful to, because I bet she's doing it in reference to her mom. She's been hearing it from her mom because she goes to church.
Michael, she says that, I'm sorry, someone says that Zach didn't blame you for taking a break. And she mocks Zach and quotes something that they said in their video about how their break is partially due to what Amber said. And she says that it's a, quote, dish it but can't take it type deal. Now, I am going to play that clip where she mocks Zach because I want you guys to hear how she says it, because later on she is going to get accused of mocking a gay accent. I think that's what the words that were used, that she's
Oh,
mocking a gay accent.
okay.
So I'm going
Let's
to
hear
play
it.
that clip for
Let's
you
hear
so
it.
you can hear it.
Zachary Michael chose to take a break. He didn't blame you. He did in his new video. He did. He did blame me. Literally, I can like quote him almost. He was like, "This is partially, due to some of what Amberlynn has said." Like, so yeah.
So then she says that Zachary Michael used to call
That sounded more like how Zach drags out their words, but I don't know. Amberlynn has done it before, so I don't know. It didn't sound like it to me.
Tommy her emotional support feeder in every video, and she considers that mocking and degrading her. And she says that the one time that she messaged them, and then she, for whatever reason, decides to say Zach's ex name. And she says that she asked Zach, What would you do if your ex came out like Beck and just started spreading all this personal info? Now, I find
But that's the thing, is that their ex probably won't. And they don't have to worry about it because they're not like you. Because they don't have all this shit that they've been doing to people. They're not like you, where you can list off individual things that you've done on camera. Hello, I caught you on camera in one of the retro reactions from the ankle squeezing Crystal's hand when she was holding a protein bar joking around and you wanted to end the vlog. Yeah, you squeezed it and she dropped the bar on you because you wanted her to stop. You did that on camera. So I can only imagine what you did off camera.
it interesting how she is trying to downplay
And I know because it reminds me of behaviors that was done to me. So that's how I know.
this message by saying, Well, it was just me saying, How would you feel if this happened to you? But in last week's stream, she admitted that she got nasty with Zach. What she said to them was nasty in her own words. But now she's just saying she doesn't understand what the big deal is. All she did was say, How would you feel if this happened to you? So while she's saying all of this, she stops herself and says, quote, I've already explained this. The fact that I have to do it again is really annoying. Which, mind you, no one even asked her to explain it. She decided she needed to, but now she's annoyed by the fact that she feels like she needs to. She says that she messaged Zach because she wanted them to see her as a person instead of a quote cash cow. And she says if that's what got them heated,
They don't see you as a cash cow. They see you as a lol cow.
upset, then, quote,
Lol.
"What are the skeletons in your closet?" She's clearly trying to imply something here. She said that a few times, saying that
Yeah.
She thinks that Zach has skeletons in their closet. And
She just likes to use phrases. Amberlynn gets hooked on phrases, like hooked on phonics, which is what she really needs.
that's why they got so upset by what she messaged them, which, okay. I guess that's if that's what your theory is. So she tells us that she's having 2 White Claws tonight, which, according to her math, is gonna get her wasted because 1.5 gets her drunk. And she wants us to know that she doesn't drink off of live streams ever. Yeah, sure.
Amberlynn's just getting a little Gore World wasted,
Okay, so
you
then we
know?
get our first ceiling of the
You
night.
know?
And when she comes back, someone in the chat says that they actually admire Zach. And she gets pissed off about that. She says,
Aw.
quote, "You can admire them all you want, but if the roles were reversed, you'd be like, get a therapist." She says, it's crazy how Zach can log off due to their mental health, and people will say that they admire them. But when she does it, people just call her lazy. To which I'd like,
You didn't actually take time off and you didn't do it for your mental health. You came back on drinking more than ever. What the fuck is wrong with you?
to say, Amber, as you like to say, two things can be true
What
at the
the
same
fuck?
time. So then someone in chat says, "Why don't you reflect on what you said to Zach?" And she says, "I
Exactly.
have nothing to reflect on. Zach's the one who needs to reflect because, quote, there are some hidden skeletons there for sure." Like I said, she kept saying this, trying to imply that there's something Zach is hiding or something from their past. I don't even know. She didn't even say what she meant by that. She just kept saying it over and over. And apparently, she was getting a lot of pushback in chat because she says, quote, "I can tell there are a lot of supporters of Zach here. I am not one. So you're going to be arguing."
Amber, Zach has a very large following. Very large. I think they're one of the largest in Gore World, like the core reactors. They're probably the largest.
With the wrong one here. Like I said, very smug, very arrogant, very, how dare you come into my chat? You know what I mean? Like she did not want anyone giving her pushback. And she even says, quote, "I support your opinions as long as you support mine." So this is when someone brings up that they felt like Amber was mocking
I have a hot take, I guess. Not every opinion is valid in every situation.
a gay accent, and they say that they think it's weird that she's doing that. And she says she's not doing that. It's just a weird voice that she uses for everyone, like Beck and Alexis.
I'm just saying, there's sometimes that I know that my voice is not the most valid thing, that I don't need to assert my voice. I know that. But then it seems like other people don't ever realize that there's situations that they're not supposed to speak to, you know?
And she actually tells that person in chat that, quote,
Like Amber.
"You're reaching." Someone in chat asks her, "How's therapy going?" And all she says is, "Good, good." For some reason, in an effort to prove to us that she does not need to reflect on herself, she does it plenty. She shows us a callus on her finger from how much she journals, which is supposed to prove
What?
that, I don't know, she writes a lot. She says that she doesn't feel like she owes Zach an apology because she doesn't care about them. She cares about their mental health, yes, but as a person, they have hurt her so much on YouTube that how is she supposed to care about someone who doesn't care about her? Empath Lynn over here, guys. She says she
Yep.
cared for years about Zach, and now she wonders why the fuck she did that, and she's literally over it. Now, not only were there a lot of Zach supporters in the chat, there were also a lot of people in her chat really laying it on thick, really kissing her ass, and one of them says to her that they hope she doesn't let people gaslight her into giving Zach an apology. And she says, don't worry, she's not going to. She says Zach can be doing something that affects her. And okay, hang on before I start. Get ready for this word salad because I don't even understand what she was saying, but here we go. She says Zach can be doing something that affects her, and she'll message them privately instead of doing it publicly, like how they like to do everything. And she's trying to tell Zach how she feels and trying to get them to see her as a human and not just as a YouTuber that they react to. And Zach takes that and twists it and gets upset that her feelings are hurt. And she says, quote, "Talk about gaslight central." So someone says, if you
What?
cared about Zach's mental health, you wouldn't spam message them after they have asked you not to. And she says, well, Zach could have blocked me. Oh, you mean they could have ignored you, Amber? Funny how you think everyone should ignore you, but yet you don't know how to ignore everyone else. I'm sorry, it's
Yep.
just ridiculous how she thinks that if we go on our channels and say things about her, she thinks it's harassing her when she has the choice.
Plus, Zach said that you unblocked them so you could message them the first time, and then you just kept messaging. That's you. You are actively engaging when you don't need to, and then you're complaining about it. What the hell is wrong with you?
and the free will to not go and watch our videos. It's as simple as that. And I really wish that she would start doing that because I
Yeah.
feel like her mental health would be better. I feel like her content would be better. If she was just living her life, doing her thing, not worrying what anyone else had to say, I think it would be so much better for everyone. But she just has this thing in her that some might call narcissism, Amberlynn, where she just has to know what people are saying about her. It goes back to the Damon White days, joining these closed discussion groups under sock accounts just so that she can see what are people saying about me. And to be quite honest, not many people could handle that. I know I don't go
No.
looking for
No, like if somebody is actually doing that to you, like, and you really felt the way about other people that Amberlynn feels about reaction channels, you literally could never look at it. You would never want to hear it. You would never want to see it. You would never want to engage with it. There's something very wrong because it's all about feeding her ego, even the negative stuff. It makes her feel powerful, I guess, to have all that shit happening and to be the cause of it.
to see what people are saying.
And that goes back to her whole thing with pursuing married women. Like, you're always trying to cause some drama to be the core of it, to be the attention seeker and have everyone pay attention to you, the wife, the actual person, the attention of the audience for doing those negative things. And then, like, you don't change. You've been doing this since the Casey era.
About me. I don't think most people want to know every single thing that's being said about them. Why would you want to know that? It's just going to affect you. It's either going to make you have a massive ego or it's going to make you feel bad about yourself. Just
Yep.
do your thing, girl. I promise you, you don't need to know what we're saying. Our content is not created for you. So, getting back to the stream, Amber says that she has asked Zach repeatedly to stop talking about her, which is just crazy because who do you
Yeah.
think you are to tell them that they can't react to your videos? And she says to the people who say, well, that's their job, that's Zach's job, Zach is the one who chose their job, she says. And quote, it takes two to tango. She claims that she never publicly spoke on Zach's ex until Zach, quote, brought that into the mix. She says that Zach's ex has been in Zach's videos and pictures, and that Zach made the relationship
Barely. I can think of a handful of examples, and I've been watching Zach since I started watching Girl World, and that's been like 2.5, 3 years. So, yeah, a handful of times over that length of time is nothing. It's nothing to point at.
and their breakup public. So why is it okay for Zach to have a private relationship, but she's not? She says
Their
Zach
breakup wasn't public. The effects of the breakup are public. The breakup itself was not public.
said things a million trillion times worse about Amber's relationships and heartbreaks than what she has said about them. Oh, by the way, she wants us to know that she knows what an alcoholic looks like and is very much not having 2 cans of White Claws a week, which makes me wonder, what does an alcoholic look like, Amberlynn? Why don't you tell us that? Then we get
Yeah.
in trouble. The chat gets in trouble. She says she had a great day and she was so excited to come on the stream, but people love to gaslight her and she cannot let that happen anymore. She's still talking about Zach's ex. She has said the ex's name, real name, which I'm not saying it's some type of a secret, but she does have the option to just say Zach's
Wow.
ex. But has said their real name at least 10 times in the stream. You know, the same woman who wants us to this day to call her exes by their fake names because she doesn't
Yeah.
want their real names out there.
Jade,
Yet she can say
Emily.
Zach's ex's name 100 times. Again, like I said before, people in the chat are just gassing her up, telling her she's so right. And you can tell that she's really feeding off of that energy because she just gets more and more smug as the stream goes on. So then someone in the chat says, so you're saying we're all wrong and you're 100% correct? And she says, quote, no, I'm saying that my feelings are 100% correct, which
What?
sounds like therapy is working out great for you, girl. So it's like she's simultaneously
What? My feelings are 100% correct. No, that's why she doesn't leave her fucking apartment because she would be told no too much and find out just how not special she is.
pissed off yet feeling extremely emboldened in this moment because she's giving off this air of just, how dare you question me? I know I'm right. How dare you try to gaslight me into thinking I'm wrong? Now, she didn't say this, but this is just, the kind of vibe that I'm getting from her. But she does then tell one of her members, remember, these are all members, paying members in her chat. She tells them, quote, fuck off. You're lucky I don't block you. And she did end
Wow.
up blocking quite a few people in this stream. So then someone says, they point out, which I feel like this was extremely valid. They say, how can you say that your feelings are 100% correct, yet you'll also say that having BPD makes you irrational? And
Yep.
Amber either doesn't understand the question
Oopsie.
or realizes that she's being contradictory and she says, well, I know the difference between when I'm having a BPD moment versus when I'm valid in how I feel. Like, what does that even mean, girl? How does that address?
Right. If that were true, you wouldn't need therapy. You wouldn't have to seek help navigating your own emotions because you're so incapable, which is fine, but you're totally resistant to it. You don't want to do anything that actually makes you change how you are and how you treat other people. You just want to keep doing what you want and have nobody contradict you, just like Salty said.
You saying that your feelings are 100% correct. And she tells the person that said that to stop trying to invalidate her. I'm telling you
Oh
guys,
my
the
God.
smugness in this was completely off the charts. So then we get our weekly threat of her ending the stream early. She says it every week. This week she says that it will be because she's trying to leave the negativity behind. And yes, she promised a 2-hour live stream, but not if she's gonna be attacked the whole time. She says that this is her safe space, and if she feels like it's fucking with her mental health, then it'll be shut down soon. She says apparently that when she was talking with her therapist, that they had her list out her top things that give her anxiety, and that the therapist said that she needs to put her mental health first. So I guess that's her excuse for ending it early, which she doesn't end it early, by the way. She went 2 hours and 19 minutes on this stream. So yeah, she said that the therapist said, put your mental health first, aka what Zach is doing, she said. So should we tell Zach to get a normal job? Does that make them a victim? Should we be saying the same things?
Zach has had a normal job over the course of their life and over the course of their channel, and has recently spoken about potentially getting a regular job just to have a sense of normalcy in terms of a schedule and to have a little bit of extra cash flow and just like a different kind of a life for a little bit, which is kind of nice to have the ability to work not to support yourself actively because they have enough income otherwise. That sounds like a fun time to most people in America, but Amber wouldn't know that because she doesn't have to work and she hasn't actually had to put out any effort. She said it herself. Her work is thinking. Her work is sitting on her little ass, or not little, her shelf ass, and running those cogs at 1 mile an hour and coming up with 2 ideas a week for one live stream a week. Really.
To them. Like, it was so obnoxious, her whole attitude. And she goes, can someone tell me what's the difference between Zach needing to take a break due to mental health and me wanting to end the stream early? And the chat's like, well, the difference is we're paying you for this. And Amber says, oh, so you want to pay to watch someone have an anxiety attack? So then she starts
Sure.
crying and
I'll
she
watch you.
says again that she looks forward to these streams and this is so fucked. And then she says, okay, I'll stay for the whole 2 hours, but I'm not going to be answering anything that makes me feel uncomfortable. Since when have you ever done that, Amber? When have you ever answered a question that made you feel uncomfortable? And she tells the chat, so you can either leave or don't say anything because I'm not going to respond to you. Which, again, these are your paying members, Amber. These are the people who it would seem like are the most, I guess, dedicated viewers of her. Like, I'm not saying they're all supporters, but if someone's willing to pay her $10 a month
Yeah,
for members only
I would
content,
never.
these are people who are interested in her. You know, they don't want to hear the info secondhand. They want to see and participate in these streams. And she's telling them that they should, if they disagree with her, they should either leave or just don't say anything in the chat, which I get protecting your mental health, but you could also just say, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable answering that. You know, that's an option, Amber, instead of just getting pissed off and blocking people. So then she kind of lets all that drop and she starts talking about TV shows. She answers random questions like, do you know where Portugal is? This part was my favorite. Someone asked her, what language do you wish you could speak? And she answered sign language, which that's just hilarious. And she was not saying it as a joke. She was dead serious. So then
That's kind of funny because on her channel, she has claimed that she can sign. And there was a period of her life where she compulsively signed everything, you guys. She literally couldn't stop herself. Her hand would be in her pocket and she would just be signing away what everybody was saying. Oh my gosh. Fucking liar. Like, oh my God. And then that's the thing is like, she didn't seem to understand. You don't do sign language in just the letters. Like, what? There's words and actual like gestures that convey meaning. And Amberlynn was just claiming that she was signing with the basic letters. Whole conversations. Like be so fucking for real.
she starts going off on the members again. She starts blocking people. And then, for whatever reason, she decides to start doing oracle readings,
Ugh.
which basically was she would pick someone out in chat. She would attempt to shuffle some cards. If a card was kind of poking out more than the rest, she'd pull that card out of the deck, look it up in the book, and read whatever it said. I don't know if that's how you do this. I'm very, very unfamiliar with oracle readings, but that's what it was. I'm skipping through most of that because she did it for like 30 minutes, I think. And yeah,
What
that's
the hell?
just, I didn't feel like that was quality content worth recapping
No,
for
it's
you.
not.
Okay, so then she tells this really weird story about a spider. Okay.
What?
Now, keep in mind, the story you're about to hear took place when she was an adult. She says it happened when she had an apartment. I think she means when she had an apartment with Destiny, but I don't know for sure. Could have been back. I don't know. She didn't specify. But she says that there was a spider that she, her words, fell in love with. She says she was obsessed with it. She
What the
knew
fuck?
its whole routine. She knew when it would be gone to eat. She knew when it was going to create its new web. She was obsessed with it and she named it TJ. And she says that one day she went outside and TJ was gone. And she literally bawled her eyes out over TJ. And she says that when she was staying with Emily, I guess there was a spider in the shower that she made friends with. I don't know, this whole part felt like a fever dream, but I
Amberlynn ripping off Charlotte's Web. What the actual fuck? What the actual fuck?
swear it happened. So then the spider talk turned to bedbug talk. She says that she had the bedbugs for a month. More bug talk that I kind of just skipped on because it was grossing me out. She says that one time she was drinking with Jade, and I guess she drank 8 White Claws and got so drunk that she was puking. Then we start
Ew.
talking about BPD, and she calls it, quote, a blessing and a curse. Then she starts joking that she's going to play Choosy with the chat, and she mockingly
She's already played Choosy with the chat. She did it with the live stream, the public one. She did.
says, all right, you guys, you have to do this for days. You can't leave. I guess to make fun of what Beck said, make light of it. And then she actually does start playing Choosy with her Oracle cards.
Jesus
And she
Christ.
ends that by saying, quote, so that's how you play Choosy. Was that abusive? I don't know. The whole thing was just really gross feeling. I mean, she's constantly talking about people invalidating her feelings and her mental health, but yet she is
Mm-hmm.
completely fine with mocking other people's, which I mean,
Yeah.
go ahead, I have no problem with, but then you can't really complain when it gets done back to you. So then she starts texting someone again. She's claiming it's her lawyer. Now, for some reason, she decides that she wants to prove to us that she can count backwards from 100, and she does it. When I tell you guys that towards the end of these streams, she's usually just trying to run out the clock, I mean it. She literally counted, I think she got from 100 to 50 and then stopped for whatever reason. Then
What the
she
fuck?
says she wants to try to say the alphabet backwards, but she gets stuck at Y and gives up. So then, okay, do you guys remember the
What?
person who last week they were sniping her stream and she got all pissed off at them, and they immediately deleted the stream, and she's like, ooh, they're scared of me. Well, for whatever reason, this week she decided to go into that person's chat because they were sniping her again. And I guess she just said hi. And she said that she wanted to tell them, no, it's fine. It's fine that they're sniping. She's not going to strike them. But unfortunately, they immediately ended the stream after she said hi because they got scared. And the whole thing just struck me a little funny and hypocritical, Amberlynn, because I thought, wasn't it you who told me that I couldn't play any members only
Mm-hmm.
content, even if it's transformative, even if it's just a small portion? Like, didn't you say take it down or you're going to copyright strike me? And then, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I forgot to tell you guys this. I was checking my email, and apparently when I re-uploaded that video with only audio that had been changed so that it no longer sounded like her, she then tried to privacy strike that video. I got an email from
Wow.
YouTube that Amberlynn tried to send in a privacy complaint on that video. And then when there clearly was nothing personal in that video, I'm not even sure if her name was mentioned. Obviously, YouTube left the video up, didn't do anything about it because nothing private was contained. But now here she is going into people's streams and being like, no, it's totally fine. You can play my whole members only stream. I won't strike you. But everyone else is the hypocrite, right, Amber? So
Wow,
then we
Amber.
get the ceiling
Wow.
while she goes and gets a snack. She comes back with carrots, cauliflower, onion dip, those salami roll things, and some cheddar pretzels. There's lots of loud munching, lots of
Yeah.
mm-hms, tons of lip smacking, chewing with her mouth open, talking with her mouth open, just, top tier content. So someone
Yep.
asked
General crudeness and uncouthness. Uncouthma's cousin.
her, what did the saying watermelon kisses mean with Jade? And I'm going to warn you, the answer is very disappointing. I always thought that that meant something else, something like, bedroom related, but
No, it was just a coded thing that she said. And I really do think that it is what we all thought it was, or at least some of us thought it was, because of what her recent Mexican restaurant comment was.
She says it was just, I guess, Jade would put a piece of watermelon in her mouth and Amber would Lady and the Tramper Lady and the Tramper and come and take a bite off of the piece of watermelon and so their lips would touch and they called it watermelon kisses. So lame, Amber.
I don't believe that.
I don't know why you kept that some big secret. At this point, the chat is so bored that they're playing, guess the song lyrics, while Amber just sits there and eats and barely
Ew.
talks and reads the chat. Then we get the ceiling again. For some reason, she brings up Rarity and she just starts crying. She says she misses Rarity, and every time she brings her up, she cries about her, and it's fucking annoying. Which I don't know why you would say that, but okay. She says that when Rarity ran away, yeah, this whole thing was very odd to me. She says when Rarity first ran away, at first Wasabi was sad, but now she feels like it's just his personality that he prefers to be the only cat, which I think that's kind of,
What?
I don't know, that rubbed me the wrong way. She says that when they first
What?
got back from Wisconsin, Wasabi
No. Because Wasabi has been around so many different animals, he's used to losing them. He's had like 5 different animals come into his life that were actually his, like, quote unquote siblings. They just came in and left. And then when Destiny and Amber moved in with Destiny's mom, they literally had 2 or 3, no, they had like 3, they had 3 dogs and then another cat already. So, Wasabi has been around so many animals that he doesn't know the difference between animals and people. They're just a thing to him. Like, of course, he's not going to miss as much as if they were the only things around and he was more reliant on them. But he's always been afraid of being in the center of attention because as a kitten, he was neglected and hit and done wrong and left alone. Like, why would he feel any sort of affection towards you?
Sabi would constantly lay in all the spots Rarity liked to lay in, which is so
Yeah.
sad. And she says, but she knows that he misses Rarity, but she thinks he enjoys being the only cat now. So there's
No,
nothing
he
to worry about
doesn't.
when it comes to
He
Wasabi
doesn't,
and
probably.
Twinkie and how they're dealing with
He's just used to it.
things. Apparently, in her opinion, I don't know. She made it sound like Wasabi was happy Rarity was gone. I don't know. I hate to say that it sounds awful, but that's what it felt like she was trying to say. She tells us again that Rarity was her everything and that Rarity is the missing puzzle to her heart. Write that on a sampler. So then she says something about how she can't remember which high school she graduated from, which I don't know, makes me
That makes me think you didn't graduate from high school, which is totally fine if you get a GED, but she didn't. But she's made all sorts of claims like graduating with a 4.0 GPA after never trying for 3 years. Really?
me wonder some things, but anyway, that was the end of the stream. Like I said, the majority of this stream was her just ranting about Zachary Michael. She's very bothered about the fact that that they mentioned her when talking about taking a break because apparently she is allowed to blame all the reaction channels when she needs a mental break, but no one can blame her. Yeah, so I feel like, she keeps talking about all the support that she's getting lately, and I've heard some of it is a troll. I think there are people who genuinely are supporting her, or maybe there are people who don't like reaction channels, and so they're trying to join her side to get her to go after them, or us, I should say. There are people who are gassing her up because they know that she gets a certain way when she feels like people are supporting her. So I feel like there's a lot of different reasons why she is getting support, a lot of support right now. And genuine people who do want to support her. But whatever the reason, she is eating it up. She's loving it. I really hope she does another public live stream because I think everyone needs to see her behavior because it's part of it's very annoying and obnoxious, but then it's also pretty entertaining because she is really feeling herself and she
Yeah.
is
That's the thing is Amberlynn thinks that emotions are weakness and something to exploit in other people, but then for herself, they're so uncontrollable and they take her so far out of being in control of herself and her actions that she just loses her mind. And that's the thing is that she doesn't want to be held accountable for that part. She wants to be able to skate by and not have that be held against her. That's why she said, "You want to hold what I did yesterday against me?" Yeah, I probably do. Because yesterday, if you were being a bitch, I want to fucking hold you accountable today. Because chances are, I didn't want to deal with you yesterday.
under the impression that whatever she says, that's just how it is, and no one is going to convince her otherwise. And that just happens to be one of my favorite Amberlynn personalities. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this recap. I do them every week. As long as Amberlynn has a members only stream, I will have a members only recap. So if you
Thank you very much, Salty. I appreciate it greatly. Everybody, if you enjoyed this reaction, please leave a like, subscribe. Go check out Salty Crab's other videos, and then leave crabs, lobsters, shrimp, or whatever your favorite seafood item is in the comments below. Talk to you later.